Well, this is the Mercedes gearbox for the 207D, and I think the 208D is pretty much the same. If your van gets stuck in gear or gets stuck in neutral or something like that, then it's usually the case that one of these arms, for these three selector arms here, has come out. Now I've just replaced the bushes in this one and this one because mine had disintegrated and one of these clips had come off. Now these clips have got a habit of coming off, and we got stuck about 12 years ago in Italy when one of these clips broke off and I couldn't get it out of fifth gear. Now what I'm going to do now is show you how to replace the bushes on here and the clips, and I'm going to do that with this arm, which needs a new bush, and I'm going to show you how to put the new bushes on, and I'm going to show you how to replace the clip. Now the position these arms are in at the present moment in time, the van is in neutral. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unscrew this nut here, and I'm going to slide this selector arm off this splined gear here. I'm going to take off this clip that's on the back of this one, same as this one here. Okay, it's just behind there. I'm going to take that off and I'll show you the clip, and then I'm going to put a new bush on, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Also, it's the case that these might come off, and one of mine has. What's happened is that this one has come off this selector, and it's come off because there's a circlip on there. I don't know if you can see it on that one. There's a circlip on there and it's broken and come off, so I'm going to put a new circlip on that one as well. Now I don't know whether you can see, but this is the clip, and basically it's a folded U-shaped clip, and if you lift up this little lip of the clip, pull it up, and then once you've got it pulled up about 3 or 4 millimeters, you can then slide this clip off and lift it off. Now the one I'm going to be doing now is the one behind, so you're not going to be able to see that too well on here, but I'm hoping that you'll see what I'm going to be doing. Okay, there's the clip on that one, and there's the clip on that one. Now these are new clips that I put on a little while ago. They're a bit grubby because of my grubby fingers, but they are new, and the two bushes I put in here are both new as well. Now it's worthwhile noting the position of these arms. At the present moment in time, the van is in neutral, so these two arms are both vertical, and this arm here pretty much points to 1 o'clock ish. Okay, and that means that the gearbox is in neutral. Now it's worthwhile taking the time to get a screwdriver, lay it in that groove, and make a little mark on your gearbox here to record the level of this selector arm here, so you don't put it on at a funny angle. Now I've scratched a little mark there which lines up with this, so I know that when I put it back on, I've got it in the right position. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my camera slightly, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All you need is a small spanner or socket to undo these and loosen them off. Once you've got it loosened off, put a screwdriver in this little slot and wedge it open slightly, and then this should just pull straight off. Of course you're going to have to take this clip off first. Okay, that's a 10mm socket I'm going to put on there to loosen that off. You might have to grab the other side of the nut. Just to stop it turning. You can use another spanner for that or something. I've just got a pair of pliers here to do it with. There we go. So that's actually loose now. I'm going to loosen it off a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to put my large screwdriver into there and just turn the screwdriver just a little bit to spread those splines. And I should be able to pull that off. There we go. Alright. Now, the clip. Actually, that bush is in pretty good condition, that one. Take your pliers, put them under the clip, lift the clip, a bit tricky, lift the top of the clip up and pull back on the clip. Okay, I'll show you that in a bit more detail in a second. Okay, so this is now off. And this is the bush I want to replace, although the bush is actually in very good condition. Oh, that's in very good condition, that bush. I actually don't think I want to replace that one. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to replace that. That's actually in really good condition. Getting the old one off will be a bit problematical. So these are the clips that often fail. You can see they've got like a keyhole shape here. Okay, and that goes over the end of the rod, and then you just push it onto the rod, and it goes into a little groove. There we go, it just clips on. Okay, so that's actually done now. Make sure that the gear lever here is aligned with your little mark when you put it back on again. And once you're sure that it's aligned, then you can tighten it back up. These clips are only about £1 each, even less from a Mercedes garage. You can also buy them online. Okay, so that's on. Make sure that's all correct. And then we can tighten the nut back up again. Now, 2 of my bushes have disintegrated, so I had to replace them. This one is actually in really good condition, because I think this is the one that went wrong when we were in Italy. So that one's actually a new one, so I'm not going to try and replace that one. These 2 I've just replaced. I should have filmed how I did that actually, but I'm sure you can see that all you need to do is push them into the hole. Now, you can't push them into the hole with your fingers. What you have to do is to put it into a vise and use the vise to push the bush back into the hole. Short of cutting this one off and putting a new one on, I can't really show you that, but it's actually not difficult. I just use a small metal tube to put over the end, and then just squeeze the whole thing into the vise, and that just pushes the nylon bush back into the hole in this gear arm here. When these things get stuck in gear and you can't select any other gears, it can be a real pain. And what normally happens is it's one of these clips that breaks off and the arm just comes out, or one of the bushes breaks and then the arm can move too much in the selector, so you have to replace the bush. Nearly all Mercedes garages that have got a parts department can get hold of these bushes, and they are available online, and I'll put a link in the description of the video below so that you can get them. The same applies with these clips. Now, if you're on the road and you don't have one of these clips, then you could always wrap some wire around the little groove on this side and tighten it with a pair of pliers or something, in order to just get you going, so to speak, to the nearest lay-by or to the nearest garage to get it repaired. Okay, now mine unfortunately has come off on the other end. Let me just turn the camera around slightly so you can see what I'm doing here. Mine has come off here, and what's happened is that on this selector we have a circlip, and the circlip's been lost or has been broken and it's got stuck. Now, making sure you don't move these arms, okay, because that's neutral now, you can then put the arm back on and replace the circlip. Now, these have bushes as well, but the bushes are slightly different to the ones for this end, so you can't get the bushes for these to fit these. They are different. Okay, so those are all fine. The circlips are all in those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select another circlip to clip onto there, and then that should be done. Play hunt the circlip, I suppose. Yeah, that one is clearly too large. Damn it, if I can get that on. No, I can't. There we go. A very tiny circlip. Okay, so that's in. It's taken me quite a while to do that. Get that blooming circlip on there. It's in my view, that's a very small circlip to hold that on. Same size as the one in the others though. It must be alright. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the original bush. As you can see, it's almost broken in half. And this is the new bush. Now, these are made from nylon, and you can't squeeze them with your fingers. So getting that U-shape groove over your gear selector arm is a little bit tricky, and what you have to do is to put the gear selector arm in a vise and push that into the gear selector arm until it kind of locks in place like that. Okay, now the best way of doing that is to get a small metal tube of some description and to put it over the gear arm so you can stand the gear arm off the vise just slightly, and then it'll just push straight through. Okay, so there's the bush and there's the clip, and there's the part number.